Hey there, everybody! Do you love to travel and learn about new places? Great, then you are in the right place. Join Jasmine the cat and Gracie the tortoise as they have fun traveling the beautiful United States and learning lots of cool new facts.
Hey there, everybody! It's Jasmine, the jazzy gray cat, here with my bestie Gracie, the super smart tortoise. Say hi, Gracie!
Hello, my good friends. It's Gracie here. Are you ready to explore Montana with us, our 41st state? The capital is Helena, and the biggest city is Billings. It's our fourth largest state, but only 44th in population. To give you an idea of how big it is, the states of Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New York, and Washington, D.C. can all fit inside Montana.
Wow, Montana is really big. And you know what? There are more cows in Montana than people. There are about 1 million people who live here, but about 2.6 million cows. Everyone could have at least 2 cows as pets. They could have their own milk and ice cream whenever they wanted to. Yummy!
Well, I suppose some people might have them as pets, but I believe most of the cattle live on ranches.
Oh, you're probably right. You really couldn't have cows if you lived in a city. Montana's name comes from the Spanish language and means mountainous. That's a really good name because there are lots of mountains here, and at least 300 of them are over 9,600 feet tall. And they are very special mountains, too. Lots of them have gold and silver in them, which is why Montana is called the Treasure State.
That's true, Jazzy, but it's also known as the Big Sky State for the big, beautiful open skies that are here.
Sounds really pretty. I love looking up at the sky and finding cloud pictures. I bet you have some history for me.
Jasmine, you're right, I do. At first, very few European explorers bothered the Native Americans who lived here. Lewis and Clark, along with their Native American guide Sacagawea, came here in 1805. Fortune hunters came about 50 years later to mine the gold and silver in the mountains. And today, many Native American tribes still live here, including the Blackfeet, Crow, and Cheyenne. Now tell me about some animals in Montana.
Sure thing, Gracie. Montana has many different kinds of animals, lots of which we have already seen, like bison, pronghorn sheep, black bears, and coyotes. But get this, over 8,000 moose live here. That's a lot of antlers. Grizzly bears like it here, too. Well, at least 1,800 of them do. Lots of golden eagles are soaring through the sky, more than anywhere else in the United States. The same with elk. There are more living here than in any other state. I can't wait to start looking for some of these animals.
Me either. Now, shall we find Montana on the map?
I am ready and waiting. Here it is. It's at the top of our country, with Canada to the north, North Dakota and South Dakota to the east, Wyoming and Idaho to the south, and Idaho in the west. Our cute blue camper awaits, Gracie. Let's go.
I already have my famous person, Jeanette Rankin. In 1916, she was the first woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Jeanette believed very strongly in peace and didn't want the United States involved in World War I or World War II. She also worked hard for the rights of women and children.
Jeanette Rankin was a great lady. My person is Evel Knievel. He was a daredevil. He would jump his motorcycle over the craziest things. First it was things like cars, then it was buses, and then he even wanted to jump the Grand Canyon. He tried to jump the Snake River Canyon, which is a mile wide, in a steam-powered rocket motorcycle called the Sky Cycle, but he didn't make it. Evel Knievel's parachute opened when he took off, and he floated down into the canyon. Being a daredevil is very dangerous work. He broke a total of over 433 bones in his whole career. Ouch!
He was quite an entertainer. I believe our first stop is in Glacier National Park.
Gracie, I am so excited. I want to see a real glacier. I heard the biggest one is called Blackfoot Glacier.
I am excited to see one also. Glacier National Park is over 1 million acres. It now has 26 glaciers, but when the park opened in 1910, there were a total of 100. The biggest lake here is Lake McDonald. Mount Cleveland is the tallest of the 175 mountains in the park.
Gracie, what happened to all the other glaciers?
Due to the warmer weather that we now have, the other glaciers have become smaller and are no longer called glaciers. Glaciers are thick layers of snow that have become glacial ice. It's hard to believe, but they are also moving very, very slowly.
I hope they don't all melt.
Me either. The park still gets 138 inches of snow every year. Hopefully that will be enough for those glaciers.
I hope so too. I know I will like it here because the park is also called the crown of the continent. And you know how I like crowns and tiaras. Although I was a little disappointed to learn that there is no real crown. The name comes from the fact that the water here flows into the Pacific Ocean, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Hudson Bay. Glacier Park was also the world's first international dark sky park. This means that at night it's so dark here that you can see thousands and thousands of stars. How beautiful.
I do love a starry sky. Now here we are on the only road that goes through the park, called the Going to the Sun Road.
Gracie, I love that name too. Wow, look at all the mountains and waterfalls we can see just by cruising the Going to the Sun Road. How about we stop for a hike?
Great idea. Let's try the Hidden Lake Nature Trail. Keep your eyes open for huckleberries. They're like a tart blueberry. They grow wild here in the park. People have tried to grow them in gardens, but they are a truly wild plant and will only grow in the wild.
I see some. Ooh, they are a little sour. I heard bears like them too, so let's leave the rest for them.
Sharing is caring. Now,
Gracie, snow in the summer. Let's throw snowballs. Ha ha, you missed. Gotcha.
Jasmine, help me brush the snow off my shell. You had a good shot. Come over here. I see Jackson Glacier. It is stunning.
And over to the left is Blackfoot Glacier. These two glaciers used to be one big one before they melted apart. Nature is so amazingly beautiful. We must try very hard to protect it.
You're right. No matter how big or small you are, you can take care of our planet. Do you see that tiny island in the middle of St. Mary Lake? It's called Wild Goose Island.
Gracie, I know a sad but beautiful Native American story about that island. A man and a woman from different tribes long ago were in love and escaped to the island to be married. Warriors from each tribe came after them, but the Great Spirit saw how much they loved each other and turned them into wild geese. And ever since then, the island has been called Wild Goose Island. Isn't that romantic?
Yes, it is. I thoroughly enjoyed this spot. No wonder so many people love to visit. Now off to southern Montana to see the Little Bighorn battlefield and learn some more history. The Battle of Little Bighorn was fought in 1876 between the U.S. Army and the Lakota Sioux, Cheyenne, and Arapaho tribes joined together to fight for their land. It is also called Custer's Last Stand. The U.S. Army was led by Lieutenant Colonel Custer.
My turn. And two of the Native American chiefs were Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse. Why were they fighting?
They were fighting over the land that the Native Americans were living on. The U.S. government wanted them to move off after they had promised the Native people they could live there.
That doesn't sound very fair.
It wasn't, and it was a very fierce battle. It's called Custer's Last Stand because Custer and his men fought until they were all killed.
Oh my, I don't like it when people or animals are killed. Who won?
The Native Americans won the battle, but the United States Army eventually won the war, and the Native Americans had to move. To remember those who fought, the battlefield has the Little Bighorn National Monument in it.
Gracie, are we here? It looks just like a big field with gravestones and a stone monument in it.
Yes, Jasmine, we are. Try to imagine this field full of men fighting each other and the sounds of guns and cannons.
I am. Oh my, how noisy and hot it must have been. I'm glad we're here when it's just a quiet field. Gracie, do you see that black metal sculpture? It's a memorial to the Native Americans that fought here. The artist created the Native Americans on their horses, ready to defend their land. And guess what? I see real wild horses too. I'm so glad they can live here in peace.
Got your hammer, Jazzy? Why don't we head over to Butte and ring some rocks?
A hammer? Rocks that ring? Count me in.
I knew you'd be excited. We're going to the ringing rocks of Boulder Bayolith.
Gracie, that is one big field of rocks. What do we do?
All you need to do is climb on the rocks and then tap them with your hammer, and you will hear beautiful sounds, like a rock symphony.
Like this? Oh, Gracie, this is amazing. I hear music notes. It's a rock band. I can play Mary Had a Little Lamb. How does this happen?
No one is quite sure what makes the rocks ring. What they do know is that the rocks need to be touching each other. If they are just touching the ground, they won't sing. Geologists think that maybe the iron and the magnesium in the rocks might make the beautiful tones.
A science mystery. Exploring is so much fun. Bing, bong, boom. Now we are homeward bound.
Yes, we are. I have a fun food fact to share. Montana has its own oatmeal called the cream of the West, or cowboy porridge. It's much like regular oatmeal, but instead of being made from oats, it's made from Montana red wheat.
Ooh, that fact is making me hungry. I think it might be time for a snack. I have some huckleberry ice cream in the freezer that we got in Glacier National Park. Yummy! It's lots sweeter than the huckleberries we picked on the trail. Gracie, over there! I see Yellowstone National Park. Are we going there too?
Not this trip, Jazzy. What you see is the original entrance from 1903 here in Gardner, Montana. I believe we will go there when we visit Wyoming.
Sounds good. Now, time for rock jokes. I'll go first. What's a rock's favorite cereal?
I don't think it's Cream of the West.
No, Gracie, it's not. It's Cocoa Pebbles. Your turn.
Great. Where do rocks like to sleep?
In a riverbed?
Nice guess, Jasmine, but they sleep in bedrocks.
Bedrocks.
Bedrock is rock under the soil, so the rocks can sleep under a soil blanket. It's a science joke.
Okay, I get it now, I think. On to favorite places. I like seeing the glaciers in Glacier National Park. How about you?
I enjoyed visiting the Battle of Little Bighorn. It was nice to see how peaceful and beautiful it is now. And friends, don't forget to tell someone you love your favorite place.
Thanks for coming. And next week we're going to the state of Washington. Bye now. Say goodbye, Gracie.
Goodbye, my dear friends. See you next time.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining Jasmine and Gracie on their adventure today. Come back next week for the next one.
Hello everybody, it's Gwen here. If you want to know more about the places we visited, just go to our website, jasmineandgracie.podbean.com, and go to the sources page and you can find out all about the great places that we visited. See you next week. Bye-bye.